Hello, we're going to work on flashcards for GRE vocabulary. As you can see, I'm using Manhattan Prep's 5-pound book. They made a terrific book using exercises for math, verbal, and writing. And at the end, they have pages of vocabulary that are on the GRE. Students often ask me, what's the best way to study vocabulary? Should they buy pre-made cards? Should they create their own index cards? I say create your own. The more your brain can work on a word, writing the definition, thinking about prefixes, and thinking about what I'll call a link or a key is a great way to solidify it in your brain. And I'm going to get to that key in just a second. So I'm going to make a flashcard right now for the word analeptic. GRE tends to test words that are not exactly common in our everyday use. In fact, if you Google a lot of the words on there and you scroll down to the chart about usage over time, it's almost as if the words are out of Mark Twain's dictionary. I mean, some kind of 19th century prominence for a lot of the words, or at least turn of the century. And their use has definitely decreased over time. So I wrote analeptic on the front. And what I'm going to do to create a really good index card is I'll put the definition over here. So an analeptic will cause seizures. Oops, it causes seizures. It's a noun. So it is a drug that causes seizures. I wrote causes seizures first because to me that's really the importance of the meaning. Now I'm going to talk about that key. The key I'm going to put in the right-hand side because that's where my eye naturally goes. And to me this is very important. It's hard to just memorize definitions and have them stick. So what the key does is it provides a word that you might know better that can serve to unlock the new word and invite it to stay with it in the permanent part of your brain. So for example, the word epileptic is a word I know very well. I've heard it for many years. I've known its definition since I was a preteen, I'm sure. So it has this permanent home in my memory, and I certainly hear it a lot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have an epileptic key for the word analeptic because I'm going to have some kind of memory device here that an analeptic will create epilepsy. Okay, so that I am now associating having seizures, epilepsy, with the analeptic. Okay, the leptic is what's going to help me connect analeptic to epileptics. And finally, what I could also do is just kind of still work on it. Again, you want your brain to just work on it as much as you can. So I'll compose a sentence. I'll say something like, when he took the analeptic, he fell into an epileptic seizure. I'm not sure fell into is the best verb for that, but he went into an epileptic seizure. Okay, so that I'm just kind of reinforcing again what happens when a word I know well will serve as the key to unlock my new word. And you should try to do that whenever you learn one of these not so common words and you're trying to have a permanent home in your memory.